Now just imagine this. A motivated seller goes on Google looking to sell their house fast, and they find your website. They click on your website, fill out your form, that way you can reach out to them as a completely warm lead to somebody who came to you for free to sell their house super fast. This is exactly what organic SEO can do for you if you are a real estate investor, and I want to show you exactly how you can turn these dreams into a reality. Hi, my name is Dawson Skorcheski, and I closed 84 deals in the year 2024 wholesaling and flipping, and I help real estate investors all across the country get motivated sellers. My favorite way is organic SEO, so if you want to learn exactly my 5-step process on how I get my website to rank at the top of Google to get motivated sellers to find you for free, please watch the rest of this video. And what you're going to get in today's video is the first thing is my 5-step strategy to get your website to the top of Google. The second thing you're going to get is why it beats other lead generation tactics and why it's way better than anything else you're doing right now. The third thing is exactly why you should start today on getting your website to the top of Google. So without further ado, let's dive in. Now, first off, I want to run over what exactly website SEO is. Now, website SEO stands for Website Search Engine Optimization. So, for example, on Google, it's the process of getting your website relevant and credible so it ranks at the top of Google, so it gets a lot of high search traffic. So a lot of people click on the website organically. When a lot of people visit your website, a lot of people are on there and they can fill out your form. The way I like to describe organic SEO is literally having a prime billboard in Times Square, or simply having your door open when your door sign says open, flashing the fluorescent lights that it says literally I'm open, and you're having your door wide open for these people to come in so you can get a motivated seller. Now, it's my favorite for a lot of particular reasons, and my first reason is because it's super affordable. Now, of course, I'm comparing this to paid ads, pay-per-lead services, direct mail, and all of these that cost thousands and thousands of dollars each and every month with really nothing building on top of that. What I mean by this is a website, I consider it to be a digital asset. When you have a digital asset at the top of Google in your local market to be the top cash home buyer in the area, people are going to know about you. You're going to get word of mouth, and it's very cheap to get website traffic for people to visit your website without having to pay for an ad, or not having a landing page, not having direct mail, not having billboards and other very expensive marketing tactics just like that. And what a website does is it causes long-lasting results. Most people who have an organic website that ranks at the top, it's much easier to keep it there once you get it up there. That's the hardest part, is getting it to the top of Google. So once it's there, you now have built yourself, like I said before, a digital asset. And what it's going to do is when people are looking up different ideas of how they want to sell their house fast, they may look up sell my house fast in whatever city. They may look up cash offer now in a certain city. They may look up people who buy houses. But the whole idea is you want your website to rank for all of these keywords. Of course, the first idea that you need to do is rank your website for the keyword that is looked up the most. My favorite being sell my house fast and your local city where you do deals in. But then right away, you're going to rank for this keyword if you do everything correctly, but down the road, that's where you rank for a lot of the smaller keywords, so then you appear on every single search that people search up in Google. And lastly, when you have a website that ranks at the top of Google, and if you have a Google business profile that has multiple different reviews, it's going to build authority in your market. So no matter what deal you're doing, even if they didn't come through your website, it's still going to show a very high authority when you're like, hey, look at this. I have 75-star Google reviews. I'm legit. I'm a good company. We do a lot of good business. People are going to just simply trust you more. Now let's dive into the 5 steps for SEO success for real estate investors. That way you can get more motivated sellers. Now, the first thing you need to do is decide where do you do all of your deals. This way you can structure your target market. That way you can also structure your site to be correctly interlinked with each other. That way it ranks correctly and you're targeting the areas you actually do deals in and have the highest credibility. For example, there's multiple different ways I've seen this done. Some people target an entire state. Some people target one metro area. Or some people want to target their one small town and call it a day. Now, each and every one of these will have a different structure. If you're going a statewide, your homepage is going to be targeting that entire state, while you're going to be targeting multiple different cities in a market. But if you're targeting just a metro area, you might target the biggest city in that metro area with your homepage, whereas then the suburbs will be different location pages or sub pages of that website. Now, either one of these do very well, but I want to give you one piece of advice when you're making your website structure. If you do deals actually throughout the entire state, you need to make it throughout the entire state. You don't want to make a website in different cities where you don't do any deals in, because it's not going to do you any good and you're wasting your time and you're actually hurting your website. But if you do all of your deals mostly in a metro market, you're going to want to set it up to do so. If you do all of your deals, say for example in Atlanta, you want to make your top level homepage saying something about Atlanta. That way you can talk about the other suburbs. It's going to be more credible and relevant in Google's eyes, and that way it's much easier to rank in Atlanta. If you made a Georgia page, if you were to make a Georgia page and you tried to have a location page support Atlanta, it's going to be much more difficult. And the reason this is because Google ranks pages, not domains. And I would guarantee you that your top level market in Atlanta, especially if you looked up, a lot of them are going to be home pages that are ranking. Now, if a home page is ranking, it's going to be a lot harder to beat with a location page or a sub page, and this is going to be much more difficult. So please choose your site structure properly based off of where you actually do deals, so you're not over leveraging yourself in a website that is too long to rank when it actually doesn't do you any good. Now, the second thing you're going to do is analyze the competition on whatever site structure you end up being, whether that's a state or a metro market. And what you want to do is you want to research your top 3 competitors in whatever market you're choosing. For example, if you're looking to rank for Sell My House Fast Atlanta, you want to look at the top 3 websites that are ranking and showing exactly what they are doing to rank, down to the word count, down to the header count, down to the image count, and very specific exactly how they got up there, what they did. And the reason is because Google has them up there for a reason, and you need to know why. Now, I say competition analysis is very important, and it's arguably the biggest step in SEO and ranking a website, because if you don't know exactly how they got up there, you can't make your blueprint. Every single SERP or search engine results page is different from each other. If I was to look up Sell My House Fast Las Vegas, it's going to take a lot different stuff to rank in Las Vegas rather than Atlanta. Now, these are some tools that are my favorite to get your competition analysis going in whatever market or state that you're trying to get a website ranked in. Now, the first one is going to be SEO Quake, and it is absolutely my favorite. It's completely free in the Google Chrome web store. I am not sponsored by this company at all, but I use them every single day and they work fantastic. And remember, it's completely free. The second tool that I will also mention that I'm not sponsored by is called SEMrush, SEMrush, and this is a website that shows you exactly the different types of keywords and everything that your competitors are actually ranking for. That way, when you have Sell My House Fast Atlanta, for instance, you can see who the top competitors are ranking for. But maybe in Atlanta, that keyword isn't the highest search term that's being looked up. You need to make sure you're going to rank your website for the one that is being searched up the most, hence getting more traffic. Yes, it is more competitive, but at the end of the day, you're going to be glad that you ranked for a much harder keyword to rank, because you're going to get more deals in the long run from it. But SEMrush is a great addition to also look at backlinks on the website, where SEO Quake is mostly on-page stuff. Now, if you have any questions on competition analysis, I have another video that I'll link below that shows you exactly in depth. It's an hour long of me analyzing competition for a client that I made. Now, the third thing you're going to want to do here is create your content in the correct manner based off of what your blueprint says. And what I like to say about writing content on your website, you need to make sure it's relevant. There's 2 parts in ranking a website when it comes to Google. That is relevancy and that's credibility. Relevancy is everything to do with what the content is on your homepage and whatever page you're trying to rank. Now, I know writing content can get very complicated. I have a video linked below in the description of me writing content for my clients start to finish, as it can get very tough, so feel free to watch that video. But when you analyze your competition, you want to make sure that you're analyzing how many words they have and how many headings they have, and you want to match the average competition of the top 3 in whatever market you're doing. So for example, if you were trying to rank for Sell My House Fast in Atlanta and they average 18 headers on their page and they also average 2,500 words, you want to make sure you match that or at least go above that. And then what you want to do is include your content with entity and LSI keywords. Now basically what this is the best explanation I have for this is if you were to look up a burrito on Google. Now, when it comes with a burrito, what's on a burrito? A tortilla, cheese, lettuce, maybe some hot sauce. All of this stuff is related to a burrito. This is what we call entities or LSI keywords. Entities are more people, places, things. LSI keywords are the other stuff that are not people, places, things. It's all things related to specifically Sell My House Fast and what these people have on their website. So for example, in the real estate investor world, a lot of people use words like closing costs, divorce, foreclosure, inherited, flooded basement. Different LSI keywords such as this that all of your competitors are using that you also need to use in your content. And you can find these on SEMrush or SEMrush like I mentioned before, or you can pull them by what I call TextRaiser from a free website called textraiser.com, where you can pull your entities from all your other competitors, and it makes it very, very simple. And simply go ahead and write your content using entities and the LSI keywords that you pull from SEMrush, and go ahead and write your content using literally ChatGPT. And then what I like to do is when you do write your content in ChatGPT, you can put it in what I call a software called Pop, and I'm not sponsored by this company at all, but it's called Page Optimizer Pro. Basically what it will do is you're able to plug in your competitors, and it will be able to tell you what you're missing that your competitors do have, or what you have that your competitors don't have that may hurt you. So to be able to get your content on point. Now what you do when you write your content, you finally have it done, which is the hardest part. You need to add this into Google Search Console. And what Google Search Console does is you're able to add your property of a website into Google. That way it's basically waving at Google telling you, hey, I want my website to be displayed on Google. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but when you publish a website, it doesn't get displayed on Google immediately. Google decides what website make it on their SERPs, or search engine results page, specifically because they don't want it taken up with really bad websites. So this is what we call indexing, or getting your website indexed is the idea of getting your website displayed on Google where somebody could actually find it, whether that's the first page or the 100th page, it's all considered indexed. Not only is it going to help you with indexing or getting your website actually displayed on Google, it's going to be able to monitor your click traffic, monitor all the keywords that people are actually clicking on your website with, and all the different details there. And Google Search Console is completely free to have. You just have to add your domain in there, and that way Google knows they need to index your website as well as keep track of all the details of it. It's going to help your website tremendously and get the speed of getting it to the top so you can get it indexed faster so you can get the process going. Now you've already made your content with the blueprint that you created. So you've gotten pretty much the hardest thing out of the way at this point. You've created the content based off the blueprint, you've added it to Google Search Console and told them, hey, I want it indexed on Google. Now you need to build what we call backlinks. Now basically what backlinks are is when a website links to another website, and Google uses backlinks as what we call credibility. And what I mean by credibility and why backlinks do this. So for example, if the New York Times was to write Dawson Buys Houses, they wrote an article about Dawson Buys Houses, how he's the best home buying company in my area. They would link to my website at the bottom, and what that does is it links to my website. Now, New York Times in Google's eyes is obviously very credible. So then what happens is then in my eyes, if I get linked from New York Times, they're gonna be like, oh, if New York Times linked to this guy, he must also be pretty cool. If New York Times likes him and we like the New York Times, he must be pretty cool, so it's gonna up your brownie points. Now, backlinks do not work, and a lot of people get mistaken by this if you don't have good on-page. On-page is your foundation of the website, and having good content means absolutely everything. I always like to say that 99% of your website is what's on your page. The rest of the 1% is the backlinks that you have. So trust me, please go watch the videos, link in the description, of me analyzing competition and writing my different content for different clients, please, because that is the absolute most important part. The backlinks you don't need to worry about until your competition analysis is perfect, and writing your content is absolutely perfect, because this is going to mean everything. You could have the best backlinks in the world with shitty content and it won't mean anything, and your website will not rank. Now those are the 5 steps of exactly how to get your website at the top of Google, but let me go into the idea of why SEO is better than such of these other different marketing tactics that you and I have all tried and wasted a ton of money on. So let's dive into a few different inbound lead generation methods that maybe cost a little bit more money and what the pros and cons of each of them are. So first, let's start with Google pay-per-click. And basically, I get a question about this all the time. Why would I choose SEO over Google pay-per-click? Because you have a sponsored ad above organic search results, and you get quicker results. And yes, that is the biggest pro about Google pay-per-click, is that it is very quick to get a lead. You can get a lead today if you set everything up properly and had the budget for it. But the problem is it literally stops working the moment you stop paying, because the way Google ranks a pay-per-click campaign is they go off of relevancy and budget. So now you are fighting for a rented spot on Google's top of their search results, even though people scroll past them most of the time anyways. And basically how they get these ranked is relevancy times budget. So if someone in Atlanta, for example, is paying $50 pay-per-click, which it's much more than that, sometimes it's up to 100, 200, even 500 in certain markets, every time somebody clicks that link, you're paying $500 whether you get the lead or not. It can be very, very difficult, and renting the spot can get very expensive and may not be as fruitful as organic SEO in the long run. The way I like to describe it is you're buying a house versus renting a house. When you go with Google pay-per-click, you are renting a house for 8 times what that mortgage payment is. Now, when you have a website that's an actual asset, it is so cheap to keep that thing maintained. It is literally a fifth of the cost, but 5 times the efficiency. Now let's dive into pay-per-lead, which is very, very popular because this is very easy way to get leads from different companies like LeadZolo, LeadGeeks, and other different like that. Now the good thing about this is they use YouTube ads and different Facebook ads, so they're all inbound and they can be pre-vetted in certain situations. But the cons here is that also, 1, it doesn't work as efficiently because the leads are less quality, but 2, it gets very pricey, and it is because it's very easy to get these leads, so essentially that's why it's very pricey. Because they say that every 1 in 10 leads of pay-per-lead closes, which I wouldn't necessarily true. Most of my experiences with 1 in 15 or 1 in 20, if you're paying $200 to $500 per lead, that can be very expensive. I mean, you're talking anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 sometimes per contract, hoping that you get an assignment fee or a flip that is above that, which they do work, so don't get me wrong, but it is a very inefficient and expensive way to get motivated sellers, and honestly, my least favorite. Now, let's get into the last one that I want to talk about here, which is direct mail. Now, the pro of having direct mail is you can target specific lists or specific campaigns of getting in front of these people's faces, whether that's landlords, whether that's other owner-occupied or people getting divorced, probates, and tax liens. You can target these people with a postcard and get right in front of their face for sure. Now, the massive con to this is it's very expensive. You need to keep it going continuously, recurring each and every month, and you have very low response rates. Now, think of the last time you called a postcard when somebody delivered one to your house or your apartment, them doing carpet cleaning or any other services like that. Very rarely do people actually call those. We need to think of this the same way because I've spent many thousands of dollars on direct mail and really haven't gotten what I wanted back from it. I know people who spend thousands of dollars every month on direct mail and do very well. But you need to make sure you have the capital on hand to continuously do it every single month, because direct mail does not work if you send out once and then stop doing it. You need to keep doing it every single month. So this can be very spendy and also may not get any results for you, which is one of my least favorite marketing tactics by far. So there you have it. There's some examples of different marketing methods and why I would choose SEO much rather than all of these other ones that get inbound leads. But there you have it. That is exactly how to get your website at the top of Google to generate motivated sellers and why I would choose SEO over multiple different tactics. Now, I do website SEO for real estate investors all across the country, so click the link below if you want to book a call with me or curious about what it would cost for your area. Now, if you like this content, please subscribe and like. It helps the algorithm to get more people to get more motivated sellers in different markets, because I'd be happy to help. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please click the notifications button where we can get weekly videos from me where we talk all about getting motivated sellers even outside of website SEO. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.